I'm Jenna Middaugh. Coming up on 11 News at noon, as election results continue to pour in, Joe Biden appears to be taking the lead. President Trump's response. Plus, how to talk to your kids about all this uncertainty surrounding the election. And let's take a live look outside. We are under an 11 breaking weather alert for high fire danger. Meteorologist Lucy Bergman has more on our fire conditions. Join us at noon.
This is KKTV 11 News at noon.
The votes are still being counted where the election stands for both President Trump and Joe Biden. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jenna Middaugh. Right now, we are getting closer to finding out who will be the next president of the United States. Joe Biden pulled ahead in two key battleground states this morning, Georgia and Pennsylvania. You can see here on the map, they're the lighter color blue. That means they're leaning toward Joe Biden. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House, where President Trump is vowing to fight the results.
Joe Biden has edged ahead.
A Biden campaign spokesperson responded to reports that President Trump won't concede, saying, quote, "The United States government is perfectly capable of escorting trespassers out of the White House." Well, we are under an 11 breaking weather alert today for high fire danger. Lucy, how strong are our winds right now?
Well, Jenna, we are seeing those strongest wind gusts.
We'll check in soon. Thank you, Lucy. Continuing your election coverage, we have an update on a Colorado ballot issue that's been neck and neck the last few days. Proposition 114 to reintroduce gray wolves to the state will likely pass. With 90% of the vote counted, the yes votes have pulled ahead by more than 30,000. Two groups opposing the issue have conceded the race. The measure was originally introduced in 2016 but was rejected then. Colorado Parks and Wildlife plan to start reintroducing wolves west of the Continental Divide by the end of 2023. Right now, it can be hard to talk about politics, especially with your kids. But if you're feeling stressed with all the uncertainty surrounding this election, you can bet your kids are too. Experts at Children's Hospital Colorado say kids learn how to navigate the world from the adults they're surrounded by.
So if parents are doing a good job taking care of themselves.
Doctors recommend parents check in with their kids to see how they're feeling about the election. Also, encourage kids to limit their time on social media to give themselves a break. And with election results still coming in, remember, you can get the latest numbers on our website. The results there refresh every 2 minutes. Just go to KKTV.com. There's a yellow banner at the top of the homepage there you can see. We have an update now. Mark Redwine's murder trial has been temporarily suspended. He's accused of killing his son Dylan after the boy disappeared in southwestern Colorado in 2012. Jury selection for the trial started last week, but according to the Durango Herald, the judge overseeing the case got tested for COVID-19 after experiencing mild symptoms. If his test comes back negative, the trial is expected to resume as planned. Developing now, we're working to learn the name of a man who police say stole a bus and crashed it, killing 2 people and hurting several others. We want to warn you, some of the video you're about to see of the wreck is hard to look at. This is what's left from the crash that happened yesterday on Highway 83 north of the Flying Horse neighborhood. It shut down the road for most of the day. An SUV and car were destroyed along with the bus. State Patrol says this started in Aurora, where the bus was stolen. It was spotted again in Parker. Police there say officers did not chase after the bus, but the driver saw them and sped off. That's when the crash happened.
The driver of the stolen passenger bus.
Troopers are working with the district attorney on charges for that driver. His name and the names of the victims have not yet been released. Right now, 8 men are facing charges for trying to pay to have sex with children. Colorado Springs police say the 8 men were arrested near the end of last month with the help of State Patrol and CBI. The investigation is still ongoing, so police are asking anyone who may recognize these men or know anything about the cases to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 634-STOP. Happening now, Colorado Springs firefighters are urging all of us to check our smoke alarms. A faulty one did not warn someone like it should have. A fire broke out last night at an apartment complex off Centennial in northwest Colorado Springs. Firefighters say someone was home at the time, but a neighbor smelled the smoke and called 911. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt, and firefighters were able to rescue a dog. The fire was put out before it caused any significant damage. We have new details in the death of the man shot by Colorado Springs police after a reported road rage incident this week. Officers say 33-year-old Dean Trecente was killed after leaving the scene of an argument where he reportedly pulled out a gun. When police found him stopped outside Fort Carson's Gate 2, they say he got out of his car with that gun, and that's when police fired, killing Trecente. Those officers are now on administrative leave. Colorado Springs police say the man killed in a separate shooting earlier this week is 31-year-old Daniel Garcia. He was killed Monday. According to CSPD, Garcia was driving on Montebello near Union and Academy when someone shot at the car, killing him. Police haven't released any information about a suspect. Governor Polis is giving Coloradans some tough love when it comes to the coronavirus pandemic. Coming up on 11 News at noon, what he's telling people as we all make plans for the holidays. Plus, a local gym has made the hard decision to close its doors. Here are the owner's plans moving forward.
Colorado, I love you. This is an intervention. Cancel your social plans the next few weeks.
Governor Jared Polis is telling Coloradans to take drastic measures to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. Colorado is topping 3,000 new cases a day, the most since the pandemic started. With Thanksgiving just about 3 weeks away, the governor is encouraging families to celebrate virtually. He says we all need to do our part to get case numbers down. And right now in El Paso County, the health department is reporting an incidence rate of 503. That's the number of cases per 100,000 people, and it's up 106% compared to last week. El Paso County's positivity rate is just over 11%, and health experts recommend keeping that number under 5. A local gym is closing one of its 2 locations, not able to survive during the pandemic. Small business Accolade Fitness is getting rid of its 8th Street gym after the owner says they need to downsize in order to stay in business. The owner says he's sorry to the nearly 1,000 people who use that gym. The gym did not make any income for 3 months earlier this year, but still paid the employees. But now the owner says he's just trying to make sure he can keep his other gym open.
We've been here for a little over 9 years.
The 8th Street location will close at the end of the month. Developing now, more prisons in southern Colorado are dealing with COVID-19 outbreaks. This week, a new outbreak was reported at the Crowley County Correctional Facility east of Pueblo. 96 inmates there are currently infected. The Fremont County Correctional Facility is also dealing with an outbreak. 202 inmates have recently tested positive. 1 has died. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Lucy Bergman now.
All right, thanks so much, Jenna.
Continuing our election coverage with results still trickling in, people in support of both the president and Joe Biden are protesting. Police in Philadelphia say they arrested 2 armed men in a Hummer truck who were plotting to attack the city's vote counting center. Tensions there have been high as the margin separating the 2 candidates grows razor thin.
We will not accept what's going on. Every vote should be counted.
People have also been protesting in Las Vegas, Miami, and Portland. And around the world, people are watching the U.S. election vote count with a mix of curiosity and confusion. Germany's foreign minister accused the president of pouring fuel on the fire with his reluctance to accept the vote count, saying good losers are more important to the working of democracy than great winners. Most countries, including Russia, are waiting for the final tally, and China's government hasn't said much, only that it hopes the next U.S. administration will work with the country on issues of mutual interest. This is developing. 2 Wisconsin police officers were shot this morning. Police identified the alleged gunman as 23-year-old Nathaniel Benton. He was arrested a few hours after the shooting when he peacefully surrendered. Benton has a warrant in North Dakota for attempted murder from another shooting in Fargo on Sunday. Police say the officers were responding to a hit and run outside a hotel when they were shot. At least one of the officers has been taken out of trauma care.
I was able to speak to him on the phone.
Now, luckily, the officer's injuries are not considered life-threatening. As coronavirus cases skyrocket around the country, job growth is slowing. Coming up on 11 News at noon, where the country stands 8 months into the pandemic. With COVID-19 cases on the rise, employers in the U.S. are not hiring as many people. Nancy Chen has a look at the latest snapshot of the job market.
Sean Wilson has waited tables for 17 years.
All right, we want to get to this 11 breaking weather alert now. Guatemala's president says more than 50 people are feared dead following landslides and flooding caused by Tropical Depression Eta. The president said yesterday at least 25 homes were buried and rescue crews have to try to get to them on foot because roads have been destroyed by the heavy rain. You can see that in the video there. Meteorologist Lucy Bergman continues to track the remnants of this storm, which are heading toward Florida now.
That's right, Jenna.
A local ministry is helping the community by providing beds for foster kids. Love Your Neighbor is run by Pulpit Rock Church. In just 2.5 years, the church has built and delivered more than 1,500 beds to kids in need. They also provide brand new bedding that the kids just love.
And then you get done.
Love Your Neighbor started in a garage and it's since grown into a whole workshop that delivers up to 40 beds a month. Right now, several parts of Rocky Mountain National Park are back open for the first time in 2 weeks. The East Troublesome Fire closed the park on October 22nd. Roads, parking lots, and trails are now open in Wild Basin, Longs Peak, Lily Lake, Twin Sisters, Lumpy Ridge, and US 34 through the Fall River entrance. Old Fall River Road is also open to bicycles and walkers. The west side of the park is still closed, though, because of the fire. And starting today, Keystone Resort is open for the winter. There are some changes, though, because of the pandemic. People now have to make reservations and wear face masks. Reservations for opening weekend are already booked through Sunday, but Keystone says there are some open spots starting Monday. Thank you for watching and enjoy your weekend.